I believe the biggest challenge you faced was somewhere around the age of 12. Talk to me what happened around that age.
Sure. I'm going to correct you. It hasn't been the biggest challenge, but it was the biggest challenge at that age, right?
Sure.
Up to 12 years old.
Yeah.
I lost my hair. Basically, it started falling out at the age of 12 to alopecia universalis. I connected it with cancer. I didn't understand the details of chemotherapy, and you need, that's what makes you lose your hair. And so I immediately thought I was dying. And I was probably a little bit pre-hormonal, dramatic 12-year-old, but going to my mom and saying, Mom, I'm dying, with this trash can full of hair.
It was just coming out in clumps?
Yeah, I would brush my hair and kept cleaning out the brush, right? And
Wow.
there's just a ton of hair in the trash can. And I kind of freaked out.
Yeah.
Really scary, right? And she said, both my parents supported me and said, well, let's go to the doctor. We don't think you're dying. You're a swimmer, you're healthy, all this. And they confirmed you have alopecia. The hardest part, I think, in the beginning for me was the lack of bedside manner for the doctors, right? Not realizing the mental health that was going to be an issue for me, right? Versus the physical. They all said, you're fine, you're not dying. And I thought, I'm a 12-year-old girl without hair. I can't go to school like this. I can't be bald. I'm not fine, but so the transition was really, really challenging to go back to school. And I was scared. I wore hats for a year.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. Just in public. I didn't want to face it. I was hiding from it. I was praying every night for my hair to come back.
So is this something that's just permanent? Once it goes, that's it. It's gone.
No, that's the hard part. So it varies so much from person to person.
Okay.
It can happen at puberty, but a lot of times at any age, it can happen. It can be in clumps. It can be little patches. It can be your whole body. So for me, I had universalis. It happened around puberty. And then it came back the first summer after I lost it, basically the fall of my 7th grade year at 12. And then I wore hats that whole year. It's all came back between the summer, basically between 7th and 8th grade. And I never stopped swimming, and swimming is definitely what saved me from just, wanting to cower in a ball and not go outside. Because my swim team friends, as soon as I explained what was going on, they were like, oh, cool. That's going to make you swim faster. I'm like, yeah. And I used it, right? I was angry about it, and I used that anger in the pool. And I think that helped me to get faster at swimming,
Well, I mean, that's a pretty trying time for all of us at that age, right? We all go through stuff where we feel at some point we're not the cool kid, and we're getting picked on in some way, but it must have been, amplified for you at that stage. Did you experience times like that where you were getting picked on over this?
Yes, definitely. I mean, middle school sucks all the way around, right? Kids are mean.
Yeah.
I think I developed this defense mechanism of being in my bubble, right? So tuning out, and I'm sure it's a form of mindfulness now, right? But tuning out the stimulus, right? So someone's yelling at me, unkind words, which happened. I would just tune it out. And of course I was embarrassed, but I would just keep walking, right? Or there were some people that really couldn't process it. And it wasn't just kids. I mean, adults too, right? And I had to recognize that, that's their issue. It's not mine. If I'm okay with it, then I'm okay with it, right? And for me, I think swimming gave me the confidence that I started to really grow in that. And then truthfully going to Berkeley and deciding because I looked at a lot of schools, and I was one of the top recruits in high school for breaststroke. So I was looking at Stanford, Northwestern, Auburn, all these really top swim schools. And when I got to the campus of Berkeley, the reaction, because everyone there is their own person, and kind of embracing that. I mean, I had some woman on the street hey, nice haircut. And she was being sincere. And I remember thinking man, this is the place for me, and then being able to grow in that and gain confidence.